So what's one thing we got to see out of Tre Jones this upcoming season?
You are Locked On Spurs, your daily San Antonio Spurs podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey, welcome back to Locked On Spurs right here on the Locked On NBA Network. I'm your host, Jeff Garcia, Spurs writer for Ken's 5 San Antonio. Glad to have y'all back. Hope y'all having a great work day and staying out of trouble. Stay out of trouble, man. Just come here to Locked On Spurs, your first and only stop for all things silver and black. Subscribe to Locked On Spurs wherever you find your favorite podcast. iTunes, Spotify, iTunes, what else we got? I said iTunes, Ken's 5 Plus app. Yeah, there's so many platforms. Go subscribe to Locked On Spurs right now. And we thank you again for making us your first listen each and every day. What are we talking about today? We're going to continue our series, One Thing, and we're going to put in the spotlight Tre Jones. So if those of y'all who have not seen one of these One Thing episodes, we're going to look at a player on the roster and say, okay, what is just one thing, good or bad? So if they're doing something good, keep it going. They got to do in the new season that's right around the corner. We're going to put in the spotlight guard Tre Jones. What do we like? What don't we like? Is it just simply the obvious that his shooting? Or what if he's not that bad and there's not much room for improvement for him? We're going to talk about that and then get into some Spurs news. It's a new partnership with the Spurs. And by the way, for the Austin Spurs, the G League, we're going to talk about them real fast. I had nothing to do with their theme night planning, okay? I wish I did. You're going to hear about that and why I might be going to see Austin Spurs games a lot more than often this upcoming Austin Spurs season. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. You want to go check out FanDuel right now. You can start the season with a big return at FanDuel. Place your first $5 bet. You can start with $200 in bonus bets guaranteed. Just go to FanDuel.com to get started. So yeah, spotlight Tre Jones today. What is one thing we're going to need to see from him? Now, it's going to be interesting for him. You know, he's going to, at least pretty sure he's going to go back to his natural position of a backup point guard. Although he did great work as a starting point guard last year. But now with CP3 on board, we know it's going to go to him. CP3 said he came to San Antonio mainly because he's going to get some playing time. So that's going to push Tre Jones to the bench and be that backup PG. Now, I think that's going to be good for him. I think that's going to just really bolster that second unit. That's something we got to talk about soon on the Locked On Spurs show here. You know, the second unit is not that bad. You got Tre Jones coming off that bench. Keldon, as of now, because the Devin Vassell injury, but once Devin Vassell, that's how it should fall into place, comes back. You got Zach Collins. You got the rookie Castle. There's going to be so much firepower off that bench, but leading the charge will be Tre Jones. And the Spurs should be in good hands in the second unit. Shouldn't see that much drop off. Now, are there things that we got to look at Tre Jones that need to be fixed up? Sure. I think we all know what the obvious is, right? Shooting. We're going to show you a shot chart, though, that's kind of make you think like, you know what? Maybe he's not that bad, but we're going to discuss that and more. And then, I think our guest, he's going to have a hard time discussing about a Dookie. I mean, he's so bad. When I texted him, I said, hey, you want to come on the show today? He goes, yeah, I'll come on. And I gave him the heads up. I go, it's going to be Tre Jones. I put a little laughing emoji on that. Got a quick text back from him, and he goes, you had to pick the Dookie, right? But he's going to balance it, though. You're going to see what he did. He's going to show his affiliation, his love for North Carolina. I think y'all know who that is. It is Rudy Campos of Sweep the League. Look at that. He's going to try to get rid of that ugly vibe that he has whenever time we talk about a Dookie. Look at that, man. He had the North Carolina gear on. Rudy, I'm sorry to do this to you, but not really, because I'm saving this guy for you. And I would do something like this.
I always get the Tre Jones, shows and the praise Tre Jones, all hell Tre Jones shows. So I'm kind of used to it. I've been used to it for a while already. And even when we don't talk Tre, he comes up somewhere in the conversation.
I think there was one episode we tried to not bring up Tre Jones because you were on, but we couldn't avoid it. But anyway, again, everybody, he is Rudy Campos. Follow him on X at Sweep the League. His show Sweep the League on YouTube. We're going to talk about that. And a very special guest he had recently. I'm going to let Rudy brag about that. And yeah, as a Spurs fan, if you're a Spurs fan, and we know you are, you're going to love to hear who came on Rudy's show recent last few days, and I know I'm excited to talk about that. But Rudy, how you been, man? I know you got the NC gear going on, so but other than that, are you doing all right?
From an NC standpoint, not good. Their football team just lost to Duke recently, so we have to give Trey Jones a little bit
Oh,
of love on that. But other than that, yeah, I mean, good. Just balancing, sweep the league and everyday life, man.
I hear you, buddy. All right, let's get into it. So, for those of y'all who are familiar with the show, well, at least the One Thing series, you know what we're going to talk about. But again, just to reiterate, we're just going to pick one thing that we got to see out of Trey Jones. It could be good or bad. Doesn't have to be all negative. If there's something he's doing really good at, well, keep it up, Trey, and get better at it. If there's something really bad, well, you got to get on board, Trey, and fix things up. But before we get into your one thing and my one thing, just overall, he's likely going to be the backup point guard. I think that's obvious. But since coming into the NBA with the Spurs and now entering what year 4 for him,
Mhm.
he's not that bad of a player. I think a lot of Spurs fans don't give him enough flowers. He's pretty good.
Yeah, he's a pretty good player, and the thing is that we saw him at his best when he was playing with Victor and a lot of the starters, and this year it's going to be a little different. Obviously, you have a guy who's a little bit better than Trey Jones at the point guard position at Chris Paul. Obviously, he's going to
Yeah,
be the
just a little
starter.
bit.
So
Yeah.
overall, I mean, outside of just and this is just something that you and I are going to do outside of nitpicking little things with Trey Jones, there's really not much more you can expect to
Mhm.
improve with him, and that's not a bad thing. It just makes him a very viable player in the NBA, and he's a very, very important focal point for the San Antonio Spurs.
Absolutely. Now let's go ahead and get to it. Rudy, you are the guest here. Now, if you're in that locker room, you're in that coaching staff meeting, you got Trey Jones there, and you're like, all right, Trey, this is what we're going to do this season. You got to do this X thing, this one thing. What would it be? What do you want to see out of Trey Jones?
The mention of the fact that there's really not a whole lot. I mean, outside of shooting, which will be coming up later, for me, Jeff, it's the mentality part for him. And like I said, I'm kind of nitpicking at this. He played his best games last season with the starters. I mean, it made Victor a better player when Trey Jones was in there. So it's going to be the fact of him playing next to guys like Zach Collins, probably Malachi Branham. If Keldon's coming off the bench, guys like Keldon Johnson. So him not playing with the starters may affect him a little bit, but at the same time, he's always been truly a backup point guard. So for me, the mentality part is learn from Chris Paul. Eventually,
Yeah.
he may become the starter once Chris leaves, if things kind of stay the way they are. So then just get the mentality part. Learn from Chris
Mm.
Paul. There's gonna be times where Chris is off. Let's be real. I mean, in the day
Yeah.
age of sitting games out, there's gonna be times where Chris Paul may be sitting a couple of games out. So he's gonna probably get the
Yeah.
start there. Uh, but the other big factor in all this is that it's his backup job to lose. Put it that way.
Mhm.
You got
For
guys like
sure.
Malachi Flynn coming in. Blake Wesley has been kind of, at that
Mhm.
little point guard, shooting guard position. You also have a very highly touted rookie in Stephon Castle who wants to play point guard. So right now, Trey's the backup. Stefan is kind of like 1B. So it's really Trey's job to lose. So for this season, it's all mentality, it's all focus for Trey. Just set your eyes on the prize and just do what you have to do. But most importantly, learn from Chris Paul. That's the thing that I feel like going into the season, he's got to do. Just build up that mentality strength.
Hey, I want to talk to you about FanDuel. You want to go to fanduel.com right now. Hey, NFL fans, you can start the season with a big return on FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. So much when you get a hunch in the middle of a game, you can check out the latest stats, view live play by play, so much more on the same page where you place your bets. You just got to go to fanduel.com right now. Speaking of fanduel.com, look, the NBA season is also around the corner. Spurs fans, time to have some fun with your silver and black on the court. The app is very easy to get, very easy to use, user friendly, very intuitive. Make your picks 1, 2, 3. Bet on parlays, bet on win spreads, totals. I mean, seriously, you can have so much fun with sports this sports season with FanDuel. Again, America's #1 sports book. You will get started with $200 in bonus bets guaranteed. Another reason why you got to go to FanDuel when you place your first $5 bet. That's FanDuel.com. Go to FanDuel.com right now, America's #1 sportsbook. Hey, I want to talk to you about Mudslingers Drive-Thru Coffee. Go there right now, San Antonio, 2404 Thousand Oaks Drive, open every single day from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. They have it all. Great menu, cold drinks, hot drinks, coffee, the signature drink, Mudslinger, iced lattes. Pick something you're craving, they'll have it. Check out the menu. We're a proud local sponsor of Locked On Spurs and a proud community member, serving San Antonio the best coffee in the city. Go there right now, open every single day from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. They have the Lightning Bolt series, which includes the Alien, which is a drink made in honor of Victor Wembanyama. Got to try it. Speaking of which, hey, they have Lightning Bolt series. They're going to be containing Lotus Energy. That's 7 power plant extracts. That gives them flexibility to create new drinks. But if you want Red Bull, you just tell them and they'll put it in there. But the default will be Lotus Energy. Go there right now, 2404 Thousand Oaks Drive. They even got mini donuts. Best spot in the city to get yourself some coffee. Go there right now, San Antonio. Follow them on social media at Mudslinger SATX. Go there right now because life is too short for bland coffee.
Hey, this is Hot Rod.
And I'm RC from the Cybertron Springs.
And you're listening to Locked On Spurs with Jeff Garcia.
Yeah, I think vocal leadership, locker room leadership would be great to absorb from CP3. Because look, let's face it, CP3 ain't going to be here for the entire rebuild. Even when they get out of it, who knows if he even survives even half a season before the trade deadline. But if Tre can learn how to be that floor general, look, we know he can do it. Statistically, he's a good point guard. He's a good NBA player. Even if his days in San Antonio come to an end, he's going to latch on to another NBA team. There's no doubt about that. But man, to learn for that vocal presence, that little general Avery Johnson, that Mario Elie, hint, hint, everybody, that, CP3 kind of floor vocal, guy, I think that's going to bode well for him. But, and he's going to need it too, because if he's going to back up CP3, which likely he will, and lead the second unit, you're going to have to maintain leads. And if the Spurs are up at the scoreboard, we know last season they were not that good. Did you know they led after the first period last season 25 times, but were actually ended up 15 and 25 at the end of the season if they were leading. So in other words, yeah, they had 25 leads, but 15 times only won. They lost 10 of them, so they blown leads. So with Tre Jones leading that second unit, it should steady the helm. And, Rudy, you're right. This is, by the way, you mentioned the shooting. This is not my one thing that he has to do, but I just want to get into that because I think that's kind of like the elephant in the room here. His shooting is suspect. He admits it. He said last year to close out the season that's what he's going to be working on this offseason. But we'll just look at his shot chart here. Now let's go and pull it up here. And again, you look at it, you're like, you know what? I don't see the issue. What's the problem? Let's go and take a look at it. What jumps out at you? This is Tre Jones' shot chart, or his heat shot chart, if you will. He does a little bit of everything. He gets you in the paint. He gets you on the outside in that 3 shot. He gets you a little bit of a mid-range game there, right in the paint. It's not that bad, Rudy.
No, it's not bad. And the thing too is that we criticizing Tre, but he shot 50% from the field last season. So it was a pretty dang good improvement, a 0.05 improvement roughly. But on the shot chart is that the biggest factor for a point guard not necessarily is 3-point shooting or even out just inside the 3-point line. It's that one area, that special area that's inside the paint. You saw Tony Parker make a living out of getting into the paint and getting, teardrops and easy buckets. Seeing that Tre did a lot of stuff inside the paint is really beneficial for the Spurs. You can really do a whole lot with Tre there. And I think with Tre's part, it's more of that mid-range. I'd like to see him, come off the pick and rolls with Victor, come off the pick and rolls with Jeremy, be able to just pop the shot right from the top of the key, something like that, maybe from the free throw line. Yeah. That's where I think he needs to get more shots up at. But again, if the lane presents itself to where you can get to the basket, try to get an and one, I'm all for that. I think his 3-point shooting it's weird because we've never known him as a 3-point shooter, but he
Yeah.
ended up shooting 33% last year, almost 34%. So it's not bad. And that's what I'm saying. Trey's like that one guy where, if you try to find something wrong, you're like, well, this looks wrong. And then it's like, oh, wait a minute. No, it improved.
Yeah.
Well, no, that's wrong. No, well, no, he improved there. So it doesn't scream at you that he's got to improve. It's just kind of like, okay, let's just fine tune the game a little
Right.
bit for you.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's go ahead and break down the shooting percentages here. Rudy, you alluded to it. He did have a nice increase in percentage shooting from all three area. No matter where it was, the corner threes, whatnot. The 2022-23 season, he shot 29% from the three line, just anywhere. He took 157 shots. He only made 45. But last season, he went up to 35% shooting. As you mentioned right now, he took 184 and made 64. So you see there. And we saw on the shot chart that the corner three is his bread and butter there. He leapt from 24% in 2022-23 season to last season 39%. So if the Spurs are going to put him anywhere in the court where he can be effective from the three line to open up space for Wemby and the other guys, the Harrison Barnes, whoever, it is that corner three shot. 39%. He took 79 of those. He made 31. So again, you know, can that use some improvement? Sure. I think the Spurs would love to have another 3-point marksman on them, and I don't think he ever will be. But if he could just be a 3-point okay guy, he's not a stormtrooper missing every shot that he takes. He's making some. Now, just within the three line, again at the rim, we see it. He's good. He can get to the rim. He can finish at the rim. He ranked in the 91st percentile among all point guards in the NBA when it comes to finishing at the rim. So he's pretty good when he's attacking. I think he needs to keep that up. But then you go into the mid-range game, 44% last year from the mid-range. Took 173 shots, made 76. So again, pretty effective there. That was good for about 44%. So he's effective. But look, from Tre Jones to Sohan to Keldon to Devin, yes, even Wemby, I think the entire team can improve their shooting, can't they, Rudy?
Yeah, the Spurs haven't really been known as, shooting the lights out and everything when it comes to actual percentage, but the shooting for Trey, it's on the right. Let's call spade a spade. His free throw percentage went down,
Yeah.
from past years. So I don't know if that's just lack of free throws or something for him, but that did go down on one instance. But shooting overall for the Spurs can improve, and you're going to actually see it improve because they went out and they got Chris Paul, who's a really dang good, perimeter shooter. Also, Harrison Barnes proves that he can shoot it from the outside. He can knock down the three. He can knock down the mid-range jumper. So you're going to see their percentages jump up a little bit. I feel you get year two of Victor, so he's not going to not always make the same mistakes, but he's going to get better shot selection. They're going to put him in better positions. Year one was just trying to figure out how are we going to use Victor. I mean, he's not David Robinson. He's not Tim Duncan. He's totally different type of player. So year two is going to be a lot better. But what I think too, as far as shooting percentage, I'm probably going to say it now. I think we're going to see Jeremy go down on shot attempts when it comes to the perimeter. I think you're going to see him a lot more in a pick and roll type of game, which is going to improve his game a whole lot more. But overall, the shooting percentage, I think it's going to actually go up with the additions they made.
All right. Well, for my one thing that I want to see Tre Jones get better at is turnover percentage. Now, again, that's basically a measurement in how often did the player turn the ball over when using a possession. So basically, whenever Tre Jones had the ball. A little bit alarming. Let's just go from the 22-23 NBA season. He turned the ball over 10.1%. That was good for guys at his position. He ranked in the 80th percentile. So good, takes care of the ball. But last year, it went up to 12.3%. That plummeted him. So that put him in the 40th percentile among NBA point guards. So I don't know if that's a pattern. I don't know if that's just a byproduct of the whole Sohan experiment, or you're just having Wemby on the court and getting adjusted to him. But we're seeing a possible trend of him turning the ball over. Now, I think that's just an anomaly. I think he will get better. I think he will revert back to his rookie sophomore year. His sophomore year, he was only turning the ball over 9.2% of the time. His
Yeah.
rookie season, 8.3% of the time. But again, is that again that byproduct of more minutes? Because then you see his usage rate kind of spike in the after his sophomore season, his third season went up to 10. It went up to I got here 22.9%, and then last year 18%. So I don't know. I mean, that's a trend I don't like seeing. It's going in the wrong direction. I need him to still go back up, valuing the ball, keeping possessions in the hands of San Antonio. If he's going to be steadying that second unit, he's going to have to keep his turnovers in check. Were you surprised to hear about this thing, or you think this is a byproduct of something else?
I'm kind of looking at it right now, and if you go back to his 2022 23, he started 65 games, played 68 of them for the San Antonio Spurs, 29.2 minutes a game. He didn't have as many turnovers that season, I believe, is what you were saying. In 23-24 is when he kind of declined a little bit, raising the turnovers. I thought maybe it was because the team was, different, but it really wasn't. I mean, it was the exact same team in both seasons with the addition of Wemby last year. So I thought maybe putting him in a different position, maybe the turnovers went up a little bit more. I think last year, it's not just Trey, it was a team thing, Jeff. It was basically it was just a mess last year. Uh, it just seemed like everybody was trying to do way too much. They were racing through the game, not playing calm. They were just trying to make stuff happen that wasn't there, trying to get Victor, as many points as possible, being the focal point. They didn't let the game come to them. And I think this season it's going to be a lot more calmer for the team. You brought in veterans, one guy, Chris Paul, is the veteran you wanted to bring in. So I think last year it was just a mixture of not knowing what to do, as you saw with Jeremy at the beginning of the season, just kind of getting a feel for everything and just letting the game run right by before they would even realize, okay, this is what we need to do. So I think last year his turnovers going up, kind of expected. It was kind of a expected type of thing because, again, the identity wasn't there for the Spurs. At least going into this season, there is an identity.
Yeah, and I think even if you don't need the numbers there, you can even just see it. Again, the eye test. Everybody was adjusting to Wemby, and you saw just stupid turnovers when
Yeah.
they're trying to get the ball on him. And then too, look, he was thrusted into a starting point guard role. He was fluctuating. He was coming off the bench. He was then starting. Then Sohan experiment, and then go back to the bench, Trey, because we're going to try Malachi Branham at the point guard. So that's up and down. He never got into any type of rhythm. But if we're going to look at his turnover trends, let's see if I can pull this up here. I'm going to get your thoughts on this as quick on this. So this is the trend of his turnovers. It goes ups and down, all that good stuff. A season average, below season average, NBA averages. You'll see in a few seconds here. Rudy here, let me go pull it up as soon as it gets out. There it is. So this is his turnover trend. You can see the baseline, the season average, and then the position average. So basically, position average like all the other NBA point guards. It will start to spike a bit. You see it came down tremendously near mid season, and then it just shot up. He's turned the ball over around March 2024, and then it just plummets down again, and then it rises again. What do you take away from this thing? My first takeaway is that that's just him being thrown into the mix of you starting, your point guard, your backup, you're this. It's Sohan. You're backing up Malachi now. Okay, now you're putting back into the starting unit. I think it's just the erratic slotting where he was given last season, Rudy.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. The inconsistency being a starter. Different types of playing time. Minutes are not there, minutes are there, but also it kind of looks like if you're going towards the end of the season, like I mentioned, it's kind of like free play. You're on the street. You're just playing kind of street ball. I mean, a lot of it didn't look organized towards the end of the season. I mean, they weren't making the playoffs. They weren't even going to make the playing game. So I think at that point, it's kind of like, okay, let's try this. Let's work on this. Everything's just kind of changing. Let's try to make plays happen. Guys were forcing passes into situations that weren't there. It just seemed, like I said, really unorganized. So seeing the spike towards the end of the season, Jeff, I'm expecting that right there from last year. This year, I expect that line to kind of just be a little bit lower, maybe below the average. But yeah, the unorganization of last year, again, to no fault of any Spurs or coaching staff, it's just one of those years where we're just trying to see what sticks on the wall to get ready for next season. And towards the end of the year, like I said, no problem with it. I knew it was going to be a high turnover rate, and that's what it showed.
Yeah, and I look overall, Tre Jones is a very good NBA player, not just a Spur, a very good NBA player. I
Mhm.
think he's a guy that any NBA team would want to have on the roster. Imagine if you're a playoff contending team, like right now, like a Dallas or a Milwaukee or a Philadelphia, to have that guy backing you up. I mean, phew, it's good. He is a really good player. So he gives you, I like what I like. He gives you some assists. He gives you some shooting. Maybe we saw the shot chart. It's not that terrible. He's getting it done in the paint. He's getting it done kind of in the mid range. He's corner threes are his bread and butter. So overall, he facilitates. He's a good, steady pace. I remember pacemaker. I remember talking to Devin Vassell last season, and he told me that yeah, they can see the difference whenever Tre Jones was on that court. Like wow, everything is organized. And I think the addition of CP3 and absorbing from him, and I think you hit on the nail too. If anything, outside of his shooting, is just leadership. I think he's
Mhm.
going to get well educated on that from a CP3. But overall, not a bad player. Tre Jones, congratulations. You're probably one of the ones that we have to nitpick to find something here
To really
outside
find
of the
it.
obvious. It's out of the obvious from the shooting. But then again, as Rudy mentioned, everybody can use help with their shooting. He is Rudy Campos of Sweep the League. Make sure to follow him on X at Sweep the League. Let him know what you think about his thoughts on Tre Jones and what he needs to improve on. You can let me know on X as well at Jeff G Spurs Zone. By the way, Rudy, why do I look like Destro right now? I got that Destro vibe going. Destro, he had the black jacket and the big white hood, right? Or something like that, like the
Yeah.
white puffy thing.
Yeah.
I got something close to Cobra Commander with the Cobra logo over here. Sorry. But I was looking at the stuff on the camera. I was like, oh my God, I got the Destro vibe going. Uh, It's time for some Spurs news. Hey, well, you know what? First, I wouldn't mind being Destro. He was able to
Mm.
pull the Baroness. I don't know how he.
Baroness.
Yeah.
Childhood crush, definitely Baroness. There's no
Oh,
doubt
that's
about
my
that.
that's my biggest childhood crush right there. Right, Rudy, let's go ahead and get into some Spurs news. And right off the bat, the Spurs have announced a partnership with Taco Palenque. So for those of you who don't live in San Antonio, it's pretty much a fast food Mexican Tex-Mex style drive-through in and out. Uh, for the longest time, back in the 90s, they had a partnership with Taco Cabana. That went away. They now enter Taco Palenque. A lot of Spurs fans were applauding it, saying, yeah, way to go, way to go. But there were some Spurs fans that were like, oh my God, that's trash. They should have done that. Let's go back to Taco Cabana, bring back Sean Elliott, the commercials. Let's have all that again. It just feels like the offseason is still in offseason mode when Spurs fans are arguing over which taco spot should be the sponsor of the Spurs. But
Yeah.
nevertheless, oh, by the way, for those of y'all who didn't hear, there will be an exclusive Coyote Cup that you can get at the games, at the arena, or at participating Taco Palenque spots.
Mhm.
Rudy, you're going to get that cup. Should they have brought back Taco Cabana and bring back Sean Elliott to do his famous commercial?
Well, let me answer the Taco Palenque first on the cup. I don't know if I've never eaten a Taco Palenque. I'm just gonna admit it. So I wouldn't mind trying it. People do say it's good, so I might head over there and grab a cup at the same time while eating there for the first time. But the Taco Cabana part, Taco Cabana has really gone downhill a lot, so I can understand why the partnership isn't there. I don't see very many lines at Taco Cabana anymore unless it's what dollar margarita night at Taco Cabana. So The bringing back Taco Cabana, Sean Elliott thing, that was back in the day when Taco Cabana was hot. It was the place to be. These days, it's really not. So I'm not shocked that Taco Cabana is not involved. I really think, Taco Palenque, it's not a San Antonio product, right? I mean, it
It's
kind
not.
of,
Yeah, it's from
yeah,
Laredo. Yeah,
yeah. So I can understand it, but as far as taco places, I mean, I was thinking, God, there's got to be a better option out there. More San Antonio, more Tex-Mex type. But I mean, I'm again just nitpicking. Spurs, Spurs fans got to fight over something. So let them fight over the best
yeah, of
taco
course.
places.
Yeah, yeah. If they're not fighting about what's on the court, they'll definitely fight about what's off the court as well. All right, another Spurs news, and I swear, everybody, I had nothing to do with this. I had nothing to do with this, but I'm glad it happened. The Austin Spurs have announced their 2024-25 promotional nights, and let's just say for me, if y'all can't tell from the background here, I'm gonna want to go to a few of these Austin Spurs games. So basically, these are a few of the Austin Spurs theme nights. They're gonna have nice like season of giving. I think all Spurs and NBA's gonna do that. Just basically holiday stuff. So
Yeah.
season of giving, December 7th, New Year's Day celebration on January 1. They're gonna have what else I got here. You're gonna like this one. I didn't tell you about this one. They're gonna have their Los Raros night, where basically they wear their alt jersey, which
Hmm.
is basically a bull that's going crazy, because keep Austin weird. They're gonna have that on November 9th. But this is where the fun begins. See, I'm giving a little hint there for those of y'all know who that quote is from. On January 24th, they're gonna have superhero night. On January 25th, they're gonna have Star Wars night. On March 22nd, they're going to have anime night, Rudy. And on March 16th, they're going to have wrestling night. These are
Oh
some
wow.
theme nights I got to go to. I remember when the Spurs released their promotional schedule. My first reaction was, what? No, at least minimal geek night? Nothing. They didn't have anything. Looks like Austin is taking over that torch, that mantle. If all of these, okay, so let's narrow down from superhero night to Star Wars night to wrestling night to anime night, what night would you want to go to?
Been on a little anime kick lately, so I would probably say that, but I would go more to like superhero night. As much as I
Super,
love Star Wars, I
yeah,
think I would go superhero night. Man, that's tough though.
it's
I
tough. See, go ahead.
I was gonna say I think here's my thing. I think Star Wars nights, and not in a negative way, they're kind of played out in a way because everybody does them. You don't
Yeah,
get very many anime nights. You don't get very
yeah,
many wrestling nights at all. So out of the three, I would probably take the superhero night. But yeah, I wouldn't mind the anime or the wrestling. I just think Star Wars, every team does it every single
yeah,
season, so you see it a whole lot. So give me the superhero night. I want to see someone walk in with a Deathstroke outfit or dressed
yeah.
as the Joker in silver and black or something. That would be crazy.
I'm gonna go, see. I'm torn between Star Wars night, obviously, and
Mhm.
anime night. Now, I lean after you told me about your thoughts on it. I'm gonna lean towards anime night.
Yeah.
Because it's not done as often in the NBA. I don't know about the G League, but at least in the NBA, it's almost never. I don't think I've ever seen it.
No.
So, and I'd like to see how creative and how deep of a dive some of these cosplayers go through. We've been to Comic Cons and we've seen some
Mhm.
deep dives of some cosplayers to the point where I don't know. I mean, I don't know this one. So I think that's going to be a good night as well. But wrestling night, I can see that being kind of popular, showing up as Macho Man or Tugboat or
Oh
who
man,
else?
tugboat.
Yes, I think Tugboat would be a good cosplay because it's simple. Who
Yeah,
else?
man. I wonder.
I can
Yeah,
see, I can see going as Coco Beware.
I don't know. For me, I don't know. I'd have to have that bird on my shoulder.
Just
Frankie
get a
is
fake
his
bird.
name.
Just get one of those fake birds.
Oh, I
Just
could
scare
do that. If I had to go wrestling, man, I was always a demolition type of guy. So
oh, the
I would,
spikes, the shoulder
yeah.
spikes. Yeah.
And I got the fat body for it too, so I can pull off one of those guys.
So the Austin Spurs were going to have a lot of fun nights. By the way, I always give them credit for this, and it's so stupid, but it was hilarious. But at the same time, it's one of those nights that I wish I went to. A couple seasons ago, I'm not kidding you, Rudy. They had car freshener night. Like when I first saw that, I was like, brilliant. I'm there. Brilliant. Let's go to that.
Wow.
Everybody got a car freshener night. And I think, you know what? That is just hilarious.
It reminds
But,
me of what's that movie with Will Ferrell?
oh,
The basketball, semi-pro,
yes, yes.
where they'd
Yes.
have, random, fight with a bear night or something like that. I mean, it's just crazy stuff.
Which I think you could win. I think you can fight
Oh
that bear
no,
and win the
no,
prize.
there's no
They just
way.
didn't they just drug up the bear or something like that? They give him like super. Oh, they let him loose like in the movie. I
Yeah,
don't
well,
remember.
I think he got loose in the movie, but yeah, he was trained to just wrestle or something.
Those are your Austin Spurs theme nights. You're gonna have a lot of fun ones, wacky ones. Don't be surprised, everybody, if I'm there for Star Wars night or wrestling night or especially anime night. Nobody should be surprised. As a matter of fact, I think everybody would be surprised if I'm not there.
Yeah.
I've had Casey Vieira, my colleague at Kansas City, tell me, he goes, Jeff, every time you come to the studio station to do a TV spot with me, if you're not in a geeky kind of shirt, because I'm more surprised at that than not. So, and finally, another Spurs news, a Spurs champion, the
Mhm.
kiss of death, the guy who helped the Spurs win the 1999 NBA title. Mario Elie was a guest on Rudy Campos's show, Sweep the League. Rudy, tell everybody about it. What did he talk about? How can they go check out that interview?
Yeah, so we were lucky enough to talk to three-time NBA champion Mario Elie. Obviously, he helped the Spurs win in '99 their first title. We talked about everything. We talked about old school NBA players, and he reiterated what we always talk about, and that's the fact that you got to do your research. You got to go back and relive NBA history. A lot of the better players, a lot of the best players are back in the '80s and '90s, and you'll see why. But two of the more focal points that I really loved was we talked about the Memorial Day miracle shot. And I told him, you never get credit for the inbound pass that you gave to Shonda, because without that pass, Sean doesn't hit it. And he slaps his desk and he's like, thank you. I appreciate that, because you're right. He made the shot, but the pass had to get there. We relived that moment. He broke down the play for us. And also the fact of where the kiss of death came from. I mean, I don't know if you know, Jeff, but I had asked Mario about it and he explained it. The kiss of death was between him and Joe Klein from back in the day. They were practicing, and every time they'd hit a shot, they would blow the kiss at each other. Well, go back to when he was in Houston and they eliminated the Rockets in game 7. Mario Elie made a jump shot, made the 3-point shot to seal the deal. He looked right at Joe Klein, who was a part of the Phoenix Suns, and blew him the kiss of death, the first kiss of death in the game. So great interview by Mario Elie. Right now he's a scout for the New Orleans Pelicans, and also he's going to be joining Sweep the League again at the end of the season to talk about playoff basketball. So another friend of the show, another great addition. And he's not the only one. Well, when Locked On airs, just go to previous night. We're talking to Pete Babcock, a former NBA GM for Denver and Atlanta. We're reliving Dikembe Mutombo's career and life accomplishments with Pete Babcock, who was his GM. So just keep growing here at Sweep the League.
You guys are growing and growing every single day, from Mario Elie to Babcock. Seriously, you guys bringing some great guests. Go check out Rudy's talk with Mario Elie at Sweep the League on YouTube. Joe, I feel like I got to do some arms deal for Cobra Commander soon. So I feel like I got to do some arms deal soon, and go hang out with my lady Baroness, which I would have no problems doing that, and whatnot. But he said, no, wait a minute, Cobra Commander. He didn't wear a t-shirt underneath. That's right. He just showed all chest. He was jacked. But no, look at that Cobra Commander. You know what it is? It's the black and the red and like kind of the puffy hood that's popping up behind me right now. So Rudy, are you okay? Are you okay talking about a Dookie? Are you all right? Do we need to give you some medication or anything? You gonna throw up afterwards?
I once they leave Duke, I'm okay with it. I can talk about them, especially if they're a part of the San Antonio Spurs. The one guys that I can't talk about, I hate talking about Christian Laettner. I don't like talking about Bobby Hurley. Those couple of guys, I've just never been big fans of. So whether if they ever decide to work for the Spurs or anything, I don't know. I might have to switch teams or something, because I can't stand those guys.
All right. Well, Rudy, you survive. What doesn't make you, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. So you're that stronger moving forward. Again, follow him on X at Sweep the League and let me know what you think about your thoughts on today's episode. What do you think about Tre Jones? What's one thing you got to see out of him? And what about Taco Palenque? You down with it? You okay with that? And are you be going to some of those Austin Spurs theme nights? Let us know on the YouTube page, Locked On Spurs. Just go to YouTube, search Locked On Spurs. Subscribe at iTunes, Spotify, Kens 5 Plus app, and many other platforms. We'll be back tomorrow talking all things silver and black as the offseason is over. Training camp has begun. Preseason games are right around the corner. So much to be excited about when it comes to your silver and black, and your only stop should be Locked On Spurs. So for Rudy, Coco Beware, Campos, I am Jeff Destro Garcia. We're going to put a lock on this episode of Locked On Spurs.